On today, we have a special guest joining us. He is our adjunct chaplain for Pruitt in the Heights, none other than Pastor T Leon Preston of the Yale St Baptist Church here in the beautiful historic district of Independence Heights. Now let us turn and join in with Pastor T Leon Preston. Welcome, Pastor Preston.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm doing well, and thank you for joining us on today.
It is my pleasure.
Thank you. So here we want to talk today about some historical moments in Independence Heights, where our viewers will be able to understand this rich history that sits right here in the beautiful city of Houston. So, Pastor Preston,
Yes.
you are the pastor of a well-established church here in Independence Heights, Yale Street. And I understand that you had become the pastor after Pastor Holcomb. Tell us about your experience as the pastor here.
My experience here at Yale St Baptist Church, of course, I succeeded the late Reverend Dr. John T. Holcomb, Sr., who had been here at the church for about 30 years. And the experience here has been tremendous, along with serving as pastor. Will be 12 years in November, this coming November. We've had the opportunity to serve the community in the capacity of feeding and helping. Also, we've had the opportunity to assist a lot of people during their times of grief.
Yes.
And that's where Pruitt in the Heights has been so very instrumental, because we turn to Pruitt in the Heights during the time of bereavement.
Thank you. Now, speaking of Pruitt in the Heights, I know because I'm new to this area, but you are not. So you knew the former owners who started Pruitt in the Heights. And so tell me a little bit about them.
A very well-known name, not only in Independent Heights, as one would call Studi Wood, very well-known name all over the city of Houston, that of the Pruitts.
Yes.
Of course, you have Mr. Earl Pruitt, and of course he had brothers, and they were all in the funeral business. And we've utilized their services. They have done professional and excellent services in the community. Amazingly so, some years ago, in the loss of my grandmother, we turned in that hour to Pruitt's mortuary, and they did us a service that was second to none. I believe I expressed the sentiments of many people in this community who are excited that that funeral home sits right here in the community. And during times when they're in need, that's where they turn. It's convenient, it's there, and the service is professional. And we're looking for greater heights, and we're looking for greater things in the future with the funeral home.
Thank you. So now as the community is evolving and regentrification has come into place, I understand that you sit on various boards as far as with the historical societies. And so tell me about that piece of it where you are involved.
I believe that with the change of the community, then it is incumbent upon not only the church, but it's also incumbent upon various businesses, and specifically speaking, Pruitt in the Heights. It is incumbent upon us to provide services not only for us,
Yes.
but for that change in the community. So we have to be well-rounded in our presentation and options in service. And so I believe that as pastor in the community, I've served, of course, I've served as chaplain in Harris County Precinct 1 Constable's Office, which Constable Roseland. And then I served on the board for Living Paradigm Community Development Corporation, which is here in the community. Miss April Ward serves as the director for that. But we're looking at facilitating change. The community is changing. It is a reality. How do I hold fast to the old, and then how do I embrace the new at the same time, and making sure that we accommodate everyone. And so, and I believe that with the changes that are coming with Pruitt in the Heights, you're going to have the capability of just taking care of all of us in a very professional way.
Thank you. Now, Pastor Preston, you're a young man, and so I know that you have relationships with the young people in this community. So tell me, how do you reach out to them?
We reach them by finding them right where they are, such as Jesus did. Jesus, he didn't stay secluded to just his disciples. They looked for him one day, and they were trying to figure out where he was. And on a Sabbath day, he found himself with those who were not disciples, but he had to meet them where they were to bring them to where they needed to be. And I think that's the same approach that has to happen with our churches and with even the services in the community. You have to meet the young people where they are. Yes. And then once you meet them where they are, bring them to where they need to be. Now, mind you, there are going to be some things that are very different that they're going to want. And we have to accommodate some of those needs. So there has to be some tweaking in our services and what we offer to them. And I think that if we do what's needed, then we can accommodate the young, because the young will eventually become old. So if we do that reach out for them, and some of those things are technology, they're inclusive of technology. So we have to do what it takes within reason to meet their needs as well, even in the funeral business.
That's a great thing. Now I want to go back just a little bit. So I would like for you to give us the history of Yale Street. How did it get started?
Wow, that's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful question. This coming year, 2021, Yale St Bapt Church will be 50 years old.
Wow.
So 50 years ago, Yale Street was born out of a church that sits in the community, which was the Greater First Baptist Church. Greater First was born out of First Ward Baptist Church. So they moved from First Ward to Independent Heights, the Studewood area. And then in 1971, there was a split, and many of those original members were a part of that split. And they came and they organized the Yale St Baptist Church. This location where we sit was a Pentecostal church. Mr. Talata, Pastor Talata, was here in his congregation. And on their off time, they agreed to allow those members to meet here during their off time as they organized the Yale St Baptist Church. Afterwards, that group of people bought this plot of land and this building, and we have been here ever since. We're just a vital part of the community. We love people, yes. We love serving, and we're open to everyone.
Thank you.
And we love Pruitt in the Heights.
And we love you, Pastor Preston. And so even with that, we have Independence Heights and we have Studewood. Can you tell us the history of how that came to be?
My understanding about the Independent Heights, of course, which was the first incorporated city in the state of Texas, the Black City. And of course, because of changes, the city of Houston took over the city in a sense, but it remained a strong community, and it kept its name, Independent Heights. When we talk about Studewood, what I was taught and told, that the bus would come down North Main Street, and somewhere near the railroad track, the bus would turn around and people would have to walk up to catch the next bus. I believe that was to go into the Acres home. But from the name of the bus, it was a Studewood bus. Yes. And people started calling the area Studewood. And so one of the senior members shared that with me some years ago. And we've all known the community as Studewood and Independent Heights. Very rich in history. Yes. Some beautiful people have come out of this community, and many wonderful people have blazed a trail. They blazed a trail that we can now just pick up and carry on, and we can make history ourselves.
Yes, you're certainly a trailblazer. But
Thank
not
you.
only are you a trailblazer, you are a singer, Pastor Preston.
A little bit.
He's being modest. But he does have a beautiful voice. One of the favorite songs I like him to sing is When the Gates Swing Open.
Wow.
So if you've never heard him sing it, please come to Yale St Baptist Church. Pastor Preston, thank you so much for joining us on today. We look forward to working with you and through the community. We at Pruitt in the Heights, we thank you. Pruitt in the Heights, where we're cherishing the memories and celebrating the life. Until next time, be blessed.